What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That's the Alexis Arguello puppet.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benjis, and we're back with another one.
Yeah, a guy that caught a body, and his name is Body. Very fitting. At least I think. I don't know. I hope that wasn't lost on the Lucas.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Man, it's good to have you on here, man. I was just saying that your last name, Body, is very befitting because in a big way, you just caught a nice body.
Absolutely. Put him in the body bag.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations on that, man. Easily vying for possibly knockout of the year. We just had Angelo Leo on a couple nights ago. Another guy vying for potentially knockout of the year. Got to be one of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because Angelo Leo just freaking cleaned the canvas with Luis Alberto Lopez. So, I mean.
Oh, okay. That was the top rank card, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was a nice one. I don't think it compares to mine, but
no, yours was much more brutal and hard to watch. Yours was like rubbernecking by a car accident.
Yeah.
I can't lie, Lucas. I hadn't done my homework on you until after that, but H2O was a guy that I did know, and I was like, watched that fight, and I was like, holy shit, he got slept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they did their homework when they chose to fight me. That's for sure.
No, I mean, I mean, our show is based out of upstate New York, so we're nowhere near Florida, man. But rumor has it that I think Silve might still be napping in the middle of that ring. I don't know if I can't confirm or deny that or not, but he may not have woken up yet. That was pretty brutal, man. Is that something that you worked on? That combination was nasty. And again, I told Angelo Leo this the other day. The kid should watch that left hook of his because it was picture perfect. But your right hand and left hook, that combination that you put together, he was really going after that short right hand. That left hand was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all comes down to timing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with him. I was trying other things early on in the fight, and it was hard to get to him, man. That kid's a phenomenal boxer.
Yeah.
But I'm the vet, right? I'm the veteran.
Right.
You know, I've been around a long time, and I think that's where they underestimated me too. They didn't really know, how extensive my career has been, and what I've done in the amateurs and this and that. But yeah, it came down to timing, man. I timed him. It was a perfect, beautiful shot, stunned him, and then hit him with the two-piece that ended his night. But yeah, man, it was an incredible night, incredible moment, and now I'm on to some big things, and I'm looking forward to it.
I gotta say, man, you look like you're laying on some chaise lounge right now, and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
just off the couch, brother.
yeah. I think to come on Off the Couch Boxing, you look like you're in the perfect spot right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so usually, man, like usually we work in reverse and we go back and kind of get your origin story, how and why you got into boxing, and we'll get to that in a moment. But usually a question that we always ask is, because it's such a polarizing topic, is your opinion on these, what we refer to on here a lot as gimmick fights, when we see these MMA guys against boxers, or we see the YouTubers. Now, you were just on a Jake Paul undercard in the fight that we're speaking of, which obviously, man, are like I said, a polarizing topic with a lot of the veterans. A lot of them either love them or hate them. You know what I mean? They're either pissed off that they're not on them and not getting those big paydays, and they've been grinding for a long time, or they like it because it does bring eyes to the sport. Where do you stand on it?
Where I stand on it is, look, it brings a different audience as well to the sport.
Yeah,
fans that would never ever turn on the TV for a boxing fight, they're now tuning in. It's bringing a whole another audience, whole different set of eyes. It's only benefiting all the other boxers. Look at me. My knockout was the most viral knockout, like, of probably the century.
Yeah,
it went insane.
Yeah.
Now, if I fought in Niagara Falls and did that same thing in my hometown, I wouldn't have got that exposure.
Right.
So I love it. It's great. Keep it coming. It's entertainment at the end of the day. And like anytime Jake Paul fights, I turn on my TV, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah. I can't lie. I do the same, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone does
it. Yeah.
So it's good for the sport.
And on the night of the fight, do you get to meet? You get to meet Jake Paul? Do you get to do? Is there any interaction?
No, I didn't get a chance to meet him. He's a busy man. He's got a lot of people around him. It's and he had to focus on his fight, beforehand. So there's a lot going on that weekend, right?
I do gotta say, Luke. I do gotta say, Lucas. As much as I love him, though, I'm 51 years old. My childhood will be destroyed if he beats any version of Mike Tyson. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, I mean that fight could go so many different ways.
I know.
I just hope they both make it out safely. That's all.
Yeah. Go ahead, Benjis. I'm sorry.
I know your hometown, I'm sure, rallies around you and wants to support you doing your thing. But I'm curious, because when you're in a small area, people like to talk shit and hate on you if you're doing your thing. I'm curious, when you are fighting on a Jake Paul undercard, does anybody say oh, he's fighting gimmick fight cards, or he's sold out, he's done?
Talking about Jake, or
no, just being on one of those cards, I think.
Being on one of those cards. Does anybody around your area be he's sold out, he's done?
No.
Question the validity of being on one of those cards?
No, I don't think so at all. I think it brought, like I said, it brought huge exposure. Everyone in my hometown tuned in. I had, people messaging me from everywhere saying they watched the fight. It was incredible, the exposure I got. So no, I wouldn't say people were hating on that.
No, so, I will say though, to close up that, I didn't know about you before that fight, but I quickly learned about who you were.
Yeah, people know now. But yeah,
thank you to MVP thank you to MVP Promotions. There you go.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, it is a division where you do got to scratch and claw, man. Like you are at 135 pounds, man. There's a plethora of talent. It's a very deep weight class.
Exactly. It's probably one of the most stacked divisions in boxing right now.
Yeah.
And now my name is up there with the top guys. So
that just opened the door for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm being talked about everywhere, and things couldn't have went any better.
Now we'll get to some potential opponents in a minute, but to backtrack a little bit, man, how did you get into boxing? We laugh because we hear a lot of the same stories. We hear that a father pushed them into it, or they were getting into a lot of fights as a kid, or sometimes it's a combination of both.
I just loved fighting. I loved fighting. No matter what sport I played, I was looking for a fight, and I wanted.
So you were putting some ass whoopings on kids.
Sorry.
So you were putting some ass whoopings on kids in the Niagara Falls area.
Yeah, I gave a couple ass whoopings. That's
okay. It's all right to cop to it. Now it should be all water under the bridge. Now you're doing it professionally, and hopefully those kids have licked their wounds and they've moved on.
Absolutely.
And so when you're growing up, man, how early did you get into the sport?
I think I had my first fight at about 14, 15 years old.
Okay, so that being said, did you have one of those guys or maybe multiple guys who you kind of put up on that pedestal and look up to? Like when you're playing a sport, sometimes you have those guys in that sport that you idolized. Who were those guys for you?
I idolized Floyd, Canelo.
Yeah.
I found Canelo when I was maybe 16 years old. So about 14 years ago is when I first time I ever seen him. And
so you're 30 years old, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
You and me are the same age. So I remember the Floyd and Canelo fight fondly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching them even before that fight. Guys like Shane Mosley. I honestly watch everybody, and I try to take little bits of pieces from everybody, right?
Yeah, and I think what people forget, and we talked about this with a guest the other day, man, 135-pound Floyd back when he was Pretty Boy.
Oh my
was God. Legit. Yeah, was legit. I don't care what people said about him later in his career about ducking guys or avoiding guys or fighting guys too green or past their prime. 135-pound Floyd was the best Floyd. Maybe 130 and 135.
Absolutely. He was a killer. He was killer. He was knocking guys out. His timing, his precision, his speed. He was vicious back then. He was a different fighter.
Yeah.
And people forget that side of Floyd. That guy's got a lot of
his ring IQ.
Yeah.
like with the viciousness was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, he was nasty at 135. People forget.
devastation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so when you look around the sport now, are there guys from a fan standpoint? Because obviously, you compete in this sport, but you're also a fan. Are there guys right now currently doing it? And I know they could all potentially be opponents at any time. Yeah, especially guys around your weight division. But are there guys you enjoy watching? That are currently doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy everybody. I enjoy watching everybody. Even guys that I may potentially fight one day, like Gervonta Davis. He's an exciting fighter.
Yeah.
Guys like Broly, guys like Terrence Crawford, guys like Beterbiev, like killers, right? Like that's what I like, right?
Yeah.
We never don't hear Terrence Bud Crawford.
Never, ever when we ask that question, does Bud Crawford's name not get mentioned ever? And usually Canelo too. Now,
No, it's my turn. Shut up.
Okay.
We look around the 135 division and it's hot, like we talked about before. And I'm curious to get your assessment on some names. Like if we ping pong, me and my dad, and throw some names off, just give us your assessment of guys. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, just the bare bones assessment.
Okay.
And the first one I'm going to say is Shakur Stevenson.
Very talented, great distance, boring.
Oh, he said it. He said he went there. And I respect him for it. I knew when we had Lucas on watching other interviews, man, that he's candid and honest. You got to respect that in any interview. So you're under the impression, and because there are two schools of thought here. We do get people that will say, wow, he put on a defensive masterclass. But then there are people that will say, that's boring, that's running. And it's such a fine line.
Yeah, I don't even think that he's boring. Or sorry, I don't even think that he's running. He's not a runner. Like you don't move around the ring like some guys would do, but he just doesn't have that excitement about him.
Not active enough.
I don't know if it's
I mean, punch output I'm talking about.
Yeah, and obviously he's not a big puncher. He just, he waits, he counter punches.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the kid's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Like he's going to be a tough guy to beat for anybody.
Yeah.
But he's not exciting, so his fights don't bring big money.
Right.
So that's why, like, when you got guys at the top, if you got a fight with Shakur or you're going to fight Davis, Davis is a high chance of getting hurt versus Shakur, but the payday might be triple, maybe quadruple, right? So it's when you're talking about matchmaking, it's always risk versus reward.
So before you throw out a name, Dad, I just want to say, if the Shakur fight was offered to you tomorrow, how do you think that fight would play out?
You mop him, right?
Yeah, I think it would.
He's not supposed to say anything else.
I think I would be. It would be an extremely tough fight.
Yeah, and
he'd be very hard to hit, and I would have to break him down over 12 rounds, and I'd probably flatten him in the later rounds. But leading up to that, it's gonna look like he's winning the whole fight, just like H2O did.
Right.
I don't want to tell the game plan here, but I'm not even going to ask Lucas what his game plan is. But I'm assuming heavy body work.
Heavy body work and eventually a knockout. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's no secret to that.
I mean, the only way you slow down a guy like Shakur is, you got to be touching him to the body, right? I mean, yeah. And so, like, another guy that you're chasing right now, because you're ranked 11th currently by the IBF and 10th by the WBA. So two guys that have belts right there. We don't really know his status right now, but IBF, Lomachenko.
Yeah, would I like the fight? I would love
your
that
assessment
fight.
of him. Yeah.
He's a phenomenal boxer. He's puts his combinations together very well, good angles. But he's also there to be hit. He's also there to be timed. He's been hit, and hittable is beatable, like I always say. And I think timing wise in his career, there couldn't be a better time for me to fight a guy like that.
And do you think sometimes, man, and you made a good point, and you're one of the few guys I've heard say it, and I love the fact that you did say it, though. Do you feel like sometimes, people are almost too much in awe and too much reverence of Lomachenko's skills, and they almost give him too much credit because you're saying he's there to be hit. There's things you can do to him. You think sometimes he gets by on this like skill set, and people kind of go in a little bit, enamored with what he does?
Absolutely. I mean, look. Pre-Teofimo fight,
yeah,
he was unbeatable.
Yeah.
In the eyes of boxing fans, he was unbeatable.
Yeah, right.
And I remember back then I was saying it. He's hittable, and hitable's beatable.
Yeah.
He's gonna get hit up the middle one day. He's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Actually, Linares did it to him, put him down.
Yes.
I know he didn't win the fight.
Right.
But he gets hit with a shot like that by a guy like me, he might not get up.
Right.
I gotta say, Lucas, when he made Rigondeaux relinquish the 0 on the stool, I was like, who's beating this guy?
4 guys right in a row.
It's true. It was absolutely insane. He did it to Walters. He did it to him.
Yeah.
Who else? Sosa. Yeah.
Yeah. There's somebody else in there too. Yeah.
It was insane. And you know what? At those weight divisions, he's fuck, man. I don't. If he stayed there, I don't think anyone would have beat him.
Yeah.
Other than his first loss against Salido, right?
Which was a foul fest. Yeah.
Which was insane. He got ripped off. But that being said, if he stayed there at 126, 130 max, he probably just had that one loss on his record.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting. He moved up to 135. He's fighting massive 135ers. Like
yes,
Lopez,
and he's small. Yeah,
Haney, like these guys are massive, bro. For 135, that's why they moved up. They had to.
Yeah.
So with those names already coming out that we're talking about, another guy we've had graced the Off the Couch Boxing podcast, and a guy I personally am a fan of is Keyshawn Davis. What's your assessment of Keyshawn Davis?
Keyshawn's a great fighter. I've seen him in the amateurs. I know him from the amateurs. I never fought him, but we were in the same division for a while there. And actually, just the 1 year, 2018, that was my last year as an amateur, and we were in the same division in a couple tournaments. We never got the chance to fight, but he's a great boxer, good defense. He's kind of like Shakur, a little more exciting because he's got that killer instinct in him.
Yeah.
He didn't look very good. His last fight, the one that came to a no contest.
Oh, that was the one before.
Yeah, before that. Yeah.
Okay, his last fight he fought Medueno. I didn't watch the whole fight.
He looked good in that one.
Yeah, the one before that was a no contest.
But then again, he couldn't put Medueno away, though, and he did hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. But Medueno, I don't know what he was using for a chin that night, man. But
that kid's extremely tough.
Tough. I mean, he ate everything. It was still there begging for more.
It
was something to see. It was something. Now, I'm interested to get your take on Raymond Murataya because Keyshawn was on our show and said Raymond Murataya is a C-level fighter. I don't know your experiences, your interactions with Raymond Murataya, who is a guy that I'm a fan of. Do you feel that's an accurate assessment? I mean, or is Keyshawn just kind of, hooting and hollering because that's what he's supposed to say?
Yeah. He's just talking shit. That guy's a good fighter, man.
Yeah.
That guy's a very good fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a C fighter, man. Like you're just being
He'd probably say you're a C fighter. He'd probably say just about anybody we asked him at 135.
He probably called me that same thing, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Now, another guy that I'm really interested in, unless you got somebody, Benji's.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna bring up Mark Chamberlain, a guy I like to watch. Turkey Al Sheikh is a big fan of.
Yeah. I consider him the British Lomachenko.
You know what? I can't give you my opinion on him because I haven't watched him yet.
Fair enough.
He's dynamite, Lucas.
Yeah, I'll have to check him out.
And that would be a great fight because he's a very committed body puncher too.
Yeah, that would be a good fight for you, I think. That would be a dynamite fight.
Yeah.
What is he? 14, 15, 16-0?
16-0, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think I watched one. Did he fight the French guy? Did he fight?
I don't know, but he fought on a lot of the recent Turkey Ala Sheikh cards.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple fights ago, he may have fought a French guy. If he did, I watched that fight.
Yeah.
He's the French guy's name is shit. He's got a ton of fights. Like he's like 46-5 or something.
Yeah. I think that is the guy that he was putting that body working on. Now, I got to ask you about a polarizing guy, and I can give you the backstory afterwards as to our feelings on this show about him. But Floyd Schofield.
Yeah, I mean that fight has been talked about.
And we're not big fans here on our show because his father
fuck
told us
him,
that
actually.
his father told us that our show isn't.
I'll say it, Pop. Fuck him.
Benji's all fired up over there. Our show isn't big enough. It was big enough for you. It's big enough for Keyshawn and David. It's big enough for James fucking Tony to come on here, but it's not big enough. Well, we don't have enough of a following for Floyd Schofield and his father, to grace our show, our little podcast here.
Yeah, they're talking a bunch of shit right now, saying I don't want to fight him. Keyshawn don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
Who else? There was a bunch of dudes. He's like, yeah, they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight.
Yeah.
We don't want to fight.
Yeah.
We haven't been offered anything.
Yeah. I'm glad you're saying that.
Who said we didn't want to fight? I told you I was gonna knock you out after I knocked out H2O.
Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, look, he's looking for some big fights.
Right.
Because he needs it. He needs it more than I need it.
Right.
Right. The eyeballs are on me now after that massive knockout, massive upset. But look, if it makes sense, it makes sense. I'll knock him out too. I don't care.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a business, and I got to treat it like one.
Right.
Please do, Lucas. Please.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do. And if that fight gets signed, as it gets closer to the fight day, I know you have a lot on your mind. You'll be in camp, but I will remind you, and I would really appreciate in your post-fight speech if you could say, this one's for off the couch boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give her the knockout. Post knockout. Yeah. I mean, please do that for us. That would be doing us a huge debt of gratitude right there, man. That would be absolutely amazing because hey, I mean, we're grinding just like everybody else, man. We're in a niche market doing a boxing podcast, and if anybody goes back and looks, we're 150 some odd episodes in. Not to toot our own horn, but we've had goddamn near everybody on. The market just hasn't caught up to us yet.
Absolutely. I respect it, man. It's not an easy gig.
I mean, we're grinding. It's hard because everybody out there with a microphone and a laptop is a podcaster nowadays.
Exactly.
It's not easy. Not an easy field.
So hey, to get back to Lucas and kind of like dig in deep a little bit, after you knock out H2O, what do you gotta have to eat? Right after you've already made weight and you've already won the fight, what's the big go-to meal for Lucas? What's he gotta have?
I'm a big chicken wing, big steak guy. Anything anything with meat.
Yeah,
I'm a meat eater, bro.
No Denny.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going full carnivore, man, right there. And you did check him on the Diddy, man. You did.
Fuck that Diddy shit.
Okay. So with that being said, man, we've established, man, that you got to be chomping into some steak or some chicken wings or whatever. Now, on the flip side of that, man, if you've got to fight the round of your life, the greatest 3 minutes of your life, is there a specific song or musical artist that would particularly motivate you?
You know what? I'm like the only guy that didn't train when listening to music. I don't listen to music
at all.
I don't know why. I just don't. When I train, by myself, if it's on in the gym,
right.
It's on. But when I go for a run, when I train, I don't ever put music on. I don't even think about it. I visualize and I think about fights.
Interesting.
I don't get into music, to be honest.
What about in your personal life, like for enjoyment? Are you just not like a big music fan?
Yeah, even that, I don't. The only time I listen to music was when I'm in the car. It's the only time I ever turn on the radio, turn on any type of music is when I'm in the car.
Fair enough.
I can't think. I like to think while I'm, relaxing or doing things.
Listen, man, I think that's the right answer. As far as I'm concerned, that's the right answer, man. Who needs the freaking distractions? I like that you're being introspective and thinking.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not something that I thought about doing it, like, don't listen to music. No. It's just I never grew up doing it. I never did it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So hey, on the same side of that coin, something we like to joke about from time to time is, the classic Rocky saying that women weaken legs. Is that something you abstain from during the training process?
I don't know how true that is, to be honest. I don't.
Okay. Okay, because
Yeah.
we just had middleweight contender Ian Green on here, and if I'm not mistaken, he did adhere to it. Did he not?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Fair enough. I respect it. And you know what, man? I got to question the veracity of that statement too, man, because I don't really know, man, that, I think that might be one of those very outdated, like cliche things, man, that was like, that boxers did in the 20s and the 30s. And I don't even know how much they did it then.
No, but you got to think, remember what he said was like, after you get some pussy, you just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, but he also said, but he also said though, man, that like, like when he gets in there, he visualizes this guy, man, made him have to deprive himself for that for a long time. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if it's a combination of building up the testosterone and kind of taking out on this guy because you haven't been able to have that type of pleasure. I don't know what it is. It's probably a psychological thing more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a psychological thing. I think it's a myth. I mean, look, you're not doing it right before your walkout, so.
You hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
My man Lucas said though, I got some tail the night before and then knocked H2O clean.
Yeah. By the way, man, I'm not sure that we shouldn't all be fucking no Diddy for this whole conversation right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, you may be wrong though, because we're talking about getting pussy, so it's not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing manlier than that. I mean, so what's the plan though now, man? Like, you figure that you'll have another fight in 2024, or is it a wrap for 2024?
No, I'm gonna be fighting. I'm gonna be fighting probably November, December.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get something wrapped up in the next couple weeks. But yeah, I definitely need a fight before the end of the year, and it's gonna be something big. I'm just waiting to hear some news, so we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks.
You anticipate that it possibly could be a world title shot, or does that look more likely in 2025?
That looks more likely in 2025.
Okay.
I mean, look, if the opportunity comes up and it makes sense, let's get it, right? That's what I'm after. I'm after, the big things, the world titles. I'm after the legacy. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's going to be that route just yet, unless somebody, wants to pick the wrong cherry again.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I've got to take umbrage again with the ranking system because, as I mentioned, IBF has you ranked, WBA has you ranked. Ring Magazine, though, 17-0, 15 knockouts, not in the top 10, but Andy Cruz at 4-0 can be number 10. I never understand the ranking systems. What do you got to do? Pay somebody off? What do you got to do?
Yeah, I mean, look, Andy Cruz hasn't fought anyone like H2O yet. That he hasn't, the pedigree.
Yeah.
Andy Cruz had sex with somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He must have.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, pedigree. I mean, come on, man. Pedigree is only going to get you so far. I can't believe that they're going to insert someone in the top 10 with 4 professional fights.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Hearn's obviously, doing something.
Manipulating that somehow.
Yeah. There's a lot of manipulation going on.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? It's all politics at the end of the day. It's all opinions.
Yeah.
And, I mean, when I knock everybody out, it's hard to say no to that. So I'm just gonna keep on that train.
Yeah.
Keep matching fights, and that way everyone has to fucking jump on the wagon.
I gotta say that's the best strategy with these crappy, horrible decisions that we do still see, and we've been super critical on this show about some of the bad decisions that we see, man. Fucking knocking them out is your most surefire way right there. You almost have to nowadays, because when you go to those cards, you got to be sitting there thinking, especially after that Oshaki Foster fight. That made me feel, as a boxing fan, awful, man, that guy can pitch a shutout and not only lose the fight, but also lose his title, which, as an old school kind of guy, I always think you really got to go out and emphatically beat a champion to take his belt,
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I mean, I've shared the ring with Oshaki, so that kid's a great fighter, and I'm happy he's getting his rematch.
Yeah, me too.
Rematch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the mindset I went in with the H2O fight. I was like, I could win 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And I might not get the decision.
Right.
That's why losing the early rounds, it didn't I didn't care about winning rounds.
Right.
That wasn't it. What I cared about was getting to him later on.
Right. Right.
So me being down on the scorecards, it didn't like deplete me. It didn't, I didn't lose the hunger or lose the momentum, right? Like I knew what I had to do to get that win.
Right. I mean, we see it with Tank Davis all the time too. He seems to give away a lot of early rounds and then catch guys when he catches them.
Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, it's the result that matters.
Yeah.
He's, up until he destroyed Frank Martin there, he was losing. He was losing on the cards.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Barrios, he was losing.
Yeah, the big one. That's the big one I remember is Barrios.
He was down to Barrios. Yeah. He's down a lot. He was down to Rolly, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. He loses a lot of early rounds.
Yeah.
But he ends up getting these guys out every time.
Now that's an intriguing matchup, and a guy whose name I've heard you mention, though, man. Is that the pinnacle at 135, man? Because you are in his division ranked. Now you're number 10, so you cracked that top 10. He's got that WA belt. Is that the pinnacle? Is that the big prize at 135, getting a crack at Tank?
Absolutely. That's the fight I want. That's the fight I'm aiming for. That's the fight we're going to be directing, the future fights towards. You know, that's a huge fight. 2 major big punchers, and I think I got the skill set to beat him, man. I think I do. I think he's got to respect my power. A lot of guys, he'll walk forward, hands up, and just walk him down. I don't think he could do that with me.
Yeah.
And if he does, he might get caught very, very, very early. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think as sad as it is to say, Lucas, I think you got to start getting on Twitter or whatever it is and getting, in his pocket and making him think about you.
Is that what it comes down to nowadays? Oh, a lot of it is social media profile and marketability and getting out there and selling yourself. I hate that it's come to that, but there is a lot of beefing on Twitter, and I don't know if that's your thing or not, man, but it seems like that seems to be like an unfortunate, avenue and route to getting these big fights.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It is a big part of the marketing nowadays, and it sucks because I don't enjoy it, man. I just want to train. I just want to fight and do what I do. Now that social media is such a big thing in the promotion side of things, you kind of have to, right? So it's tough, but you gotta sometimes sit down and force yourself to do it.
Right.
Yeah, and
I would say we'd put the good word in for Tank, but he's not going to come on our show. I mean, if we can't get Floyd Schofield, for fuck's sake, there's no way we're landing Tank.
Fuck that
guy. You're a Canadian though, guy, right?
Yeah.
Another guy that we just had on recently, Ryan
Rosnicki.
Right.
That guy, it was a breath of fresh air, man. He said his favorite fighter was Jack Dempsey. He just likes to get in there and hurt people. I loved his attitude.
He's one scary man. I train with him. Like we're out of the same gym, same coach.
Yeah.
He is one of the scariest guys on planet Earth, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's just your kind of mentality kind of reminds me of him, and it's a Canadian thing. It must be. I mean, you don't really want to beef on Twitter. You just want to get to the action.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a Canadian thing. I just think that's just me and Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan's a different cat, but me and him, man, we're straight up fighters. We're straight up fighters.
And by the way, shout out to Canada, man. All the Canadian fighters have showed us love. Shout out to Ryan Rosicki. We've had Steve Claggett. We've had both of the Thonson brothers on, man. Canada loves us.
Yeah, man. Fuck, all those guys are my boys. So
we love Canada.
Wilkins Mateo,
Matthew Germain. Yeah. Canada loves us, man. Canada in the house,
boys.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely. Good group of boys, man.
Yeah. And so, go ahead, Benji. Did you have something pressing you were going to say?
No, I was just gonna say again that Ryan Rosicki is a fucking bad man, and hey. They were trying to come at us, Lucas, in the comments about, oh, Ryan Rosicki had crimes he committed and this and that. And I was like,
caught a charge here, he caught a charge here, he caught a charge here, caught a charge there. I'm like, hey, someone had to do something to fucking make him catch a charge.
Absolutely. I mean, look, when you're when you're climbing the ladder, people want to see you fall, right? And
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
it's a hard place to be sometimes, but Ryan's got so much potential, and he's fighting for the world title, man. He's fighting for the world title next month,
I know.
and
Excited for him.
I think he's going to be coming back to Canada with the WBC title around his waist. I guarantee it, man. I'm going to watch. I can't wait.
Now, is there added pressure, or is it just another night at the office when you're on a Jake Paul undercard? Because like you said earlier, people are tuning in, people that don't even usually turn in, casuals, if you want to call them that, like, kind of, fringe type of fans or whatever, man. Everybody's turned out for a Jake Paul card fight. Is it just another night of fighting for you, or is there any little bit of added mental pressure when you're on a card like that, like knowing that it's probably going to get to a bigger audience, as you said, than if you were just fighting in Niagara Falls?
Look, I perform under pressure, and did I feel any more pressure? No, I didn't. I'm just so focused. I'm so focused. I got one job, and I take care of business on the night of the fight. I don't think about who's watching. I don't think about the cameras in front of me. I don't think about the crowd. I just go in there and I fight. And no, I don't think it affected me. I don't think it affected me. I wasn't nervous like in a different way. It was obviously the biggest card I've ever fought on, biggest crowd I've ever fought in front of, but it didn't affect me negatively.
So hey, Lucas, listen, man. The biggest question of the night, and we've been schooled on this. I know you're not from the United States, and me and my dad are. And we
didn't even know this. Yeah.
We didn't know that Mount Rushmore was in South Dakota, but we do
now.
know that there's 4 faces on Mount Rushmore. So all time for you, not necessarily the greatest, but for you, who's the top 4 faces you got to put on there?
In boxing, your Mount Rushmore.
Not the greatest, just for
your
me.
Your greatest.
For you.
My greatest.
Yeah.
Roberto Duran.
Love it. Doesn't get mentioned nearly enough in people's Mount Rushmore either. We have heard his name, but not as much as I'd like to see him on there.
No?
He should be. I mean, you do hear a lot of the same ones, and I don't want that to affect your list, but we do always hear the Muhammad Ali's, we hear the Floyds, we hear a lot of the same names a lot, man, but Roberto has gotten mentioned. It's not to say that he hasn't, man, but I mean, I think people forget. In my opinion, possibly, if not the greatest boxer of all time.
Okay, I'm going to mix it up then.
Okay.
Costa Zoo.
Ooh, I love that pick.
Never heard that.
Favorites. He's one of my favorites, and I take a lot of things from him watching his videos.
Yeah, he made Zab Judah do the stanky leg in that one fight. My God.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Zab's actually one of my favorite fighters too.
Zab Judah got up and was yelling at the referee for that knockdown. Didn't know where he was. He was talking about Queer Street.
Jay Mosley is a lightweight.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People forget about Shane at lightweight too.
Dude, he was like the Lomachenko.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
He was like the unbeatable at that weight.
With more power too. With more power.
Yeah,
he was fucking unbelievable. And the last but not least, I'm gonna have to say Triple G.
Ooh, I love that pick.
Yeah,
we never heard that one either.
And I have been hearing a lot of rumors about Triple G possibly coming out of retirement for the Crawford fight if Canelo doesn't take it. But I don't know if that's such a great idea. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, I've been seeing it all over the boxing threads on Facebook. We try to keep up with that stuff because we do this show or whatever, man. I don't know how realistic it is, but I've seen like multiple sites report on it. And Triple G's been pretty inactive for quite a while now. So I mean,
yeah, that would be. That would be pretty surprising to see. I mean, I seen him in a video not long ago. Like he was helping another fighter, and he looked like he was a 200-pound.
Yeah, I've heard people say that he's walking around at damn near heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's easily 200 pounds.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face. So
incredible chin, though, dude. The best chin of all time.
Best chin of all time. Yeah.
And hands of steel, bro.
Yeah.
So people on top of the head like that. Bro, like that's dangerous, man. Like you could break your hand so easily.
So in all your years of living in Niagara Falls, man, you know, just the time that you've been there, how many people have gone over those goddamn falls in a barrel? I was there in 1986. I was there in 1986 with my parents, and somebody did do it. I didn't see it, but they had the.
I know him personally.
You know the guy that did it in 86.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
not
that they
86,
even.
not 86.
And I think I remember my parents taking me maybe to the Rainbow Mall or something like that, and I think they had the barrel there that he went over. And I mean, I think it's just bragging rights, right? I mean, I think you get arrested for it, don't you?
Yeah, I know a guy that did it personally, and yeah, he got arrested for it afterwards. It was probably like 30 years ago, so it probably would have been in like the mid 90s.
I went down a rabbit hole of watching a video of all the people that did it on YouTube, man, and it was about half and half. Half survived, but half of them died. There was even a guy that went off it on a goddamn jet ski for world hunger.
No way.
Yeah. Obviously, needless to say, yeah. If you go on YouTube, and you punch in people that have gone over the Niagara Falls and just gone over Niagara Falls, it's crazy. Just went off on the jet ski and just let go.
That's insane.
Not sure what the rhyme or reason is behind that, or how that has really solved the world hunger problem, but
yeah,
I imagine some fish have gotten fed, but
that's definitely holy smokes, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And so to wrap this up, man, 2025, you feel like is going to be a shot at a 135-pound title? Absolutely.
I think that's going to be my year. Timing wise, the rankings, everything is going to line up, and I have a good feeling that something's going to happen big for me in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and they're going to be positioning me right in the next 12 months to get myself that world title fight.
I love the fact that you're teasing us and tickling us with a feather about something coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know you're not at liberties to say, and it is a dirty business. Anything can fall through or whatever, but it sounds like it's something that you're genuinely excited about, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even if you're not at liberties to say, I'm just happy that you're happy that something is coming your way, because I think it's long overdue. I mean, 17-0, 15 knockouts. What the fuck's a guy got to do, you know?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I gotta say, my last question for the day is where do I get, if I go to Canada, where do I get the best poutine?
The best poutine?
Yeah.
Smokes Poutineery in Niagara Falls, right on Clifton Hill.
Oh, I love Clifton. Clifton Hill used to be jumping back in the day with all those like all those wax museums. If I'm thinking of the same place, right?
They're still there.
Yeah, all the wax museums and the haunted houses, and I mean, there used to be a lot popping there. And then I remember staying over on Lundy's Lane quite a bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
a lot of hotels over there. Are you in that general vicinity of where everything is popping off over there?
I mean, look, Niagara Falls, one side to the city, the other is like max 10 minutes. It's a small city.
Yeah.
So for me to get to Clifton Hill, it's literally 5-minute drive.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice because there's plenty going on there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an exciting part of the town right there, man. Well, I mean, irregardless, man, don't do anything drastic. Stay out of those barrels, man. There's no need to go over the falls, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get noticed, man, without going over the falls, man. We're getting a title shot in 2025, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if all else fails, man, you just let the beard come in a little thicker, and I think you got a shot at playing Paulie Malignaggi in the Paulie Malignaggi movie.
Is there a movie coming out?
I don't know. But I'm saying though, man, like looking at you, if the beard came in thicker, I would typecast you.
Paulie's the man.
I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I've met Paulie up at the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Paulie's
That's right in our backyard.
Yeah, Paulie's a good-looking guy, man. No offense taken, man.
I'm not sure because I'm 51 years old. I don't know when you say he's a good-looking guy if that's where I'm supposed to insert a no diddy, but I'm going to insert one anyway. It's a possible no diddy. It's impossible. I mean, I'm on the loop, man. You guys are 30. I'm 51. So I don't know when I'm supposed to insert one in there. You know, I mean,
you could have.
I should have. Okay, so I was right in my placement there.
Yeah, you were right. But for me, there's no
fair enough.
There's no guessing games over here, man.
No, all man. Yeah, he's knocking people. Yeah, he's knocking people out. He's wiping up the canvas with people, man. Don't question the masculinity, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lots of
listen, man,
going on around here.
Lucas the Prince Body, I'm so happy that we got to finally do this, man. Listen, do me a favor, stay in touch, man. You've been a fun guest. We'd love to have you back on again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's nice to meet you guys, and I look forward to next time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you, man, and best of luck going forward, man. If you got something coming up or a fight or something, man, keep us tapped in. We'd love to have you back on, help promote it, talk about it, whatever.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Lucas.
All right, thanks, Lucas. Later. Yeah, that guy's going somewhere at 135 pounds, man. He's putting them all on fucking notice, man, at 135, man. 17-0, 15 knockouts. For fuck's sake, I was never very good in math, but that's got to be 97, 98 fucking percent knockout ratio. I mean, what more does a guy got to do?
I would put it over 95% for sure.
Yeah. Easily. Yeah, easily, man. 17-0, 15 knockouts. And, no disrespect to Angelo Leo, who we just had on a couple nights ago. At the time of this recording, the episode is not up yet, but by the time this one is up, it will be, man. But Angelo Leo is in the running. But as Lucas said, his much more vicious, much more brutal. I will say that, Angelo Leo's was,
picturesque.
Yeah, a textbook left hook, man. But the one with Lucas BAHDI was extremely hard to watch, man. As a boxing fan, of course, I'm going to watch it, and I loved every minute of it, man. But it was brutal.
Man, hey, you weren't watching it, but I remember texting you.
But that's the way knockouts ought to be, though. Brutal.
I remember texting you right after, and I'm like, this dude just fucking flatlined H2O.
Well, he was already on my radar. I mean, I certainly knew who Lucas BAHDI was. Wasn't too familiar with Ashton Sylvie or whatever his name is. Although coming into that fight, he himself was 11 or 12-0, so he was also an undefeated fighter on the come up as well. Obviously, he got derailed, that night on that Jake Paul undercard or whatever. But certainly no slouch, man. I want to give credit where credit is due, because I did say the other night that it was impressive. Maybe Angelo Leo's was a bit more impressive just because of who Luis Alberto Lopez was. But now I'm second guessing that, man, only just because Lucas BAHDI was fighting an undefeated guy. Luis Alberto Lopez not undefeated. Already did have previous losses.
Yeah, I mean, H2O Slive was a big kind of like a big deal a little bit.
Yeah, and you got to factor in the vicious factor. It was very vicious. It was very vicious. It was a nasty snapping right hand, followed it up with a left hook, and then as he was going down, there was another chopping right hand. But at that point, that didn't even fucking matter if that landed. It was already night for that dude.
Oh God, he was.
And he face planted too. He, went straight down on his face and proceeded to not move. He may still fucking be there. I wasn't lying about that. I don't know if they've swept up in there yet, or they cleaned him up, or just cleaned around him. I don't know. I don't know how they do it down there in Florida, man. But maybe they rolled him into the lagoon with the Gators. I don't know, man. But he might still be out, that dude. I'm not sure, man. I mean, he really got slept, man. Old school fucking knockout, dropped on your fucking face, man. So shout out to Lucas Prince BAHDI, man. I'm going to say it now, man. Unless someone does something more impressive, all due respect to Angelo Leo, who we had on the other day. A phenomenal guest, man. El Chinito. Enjoyed talking to him, man. But I'd have to give it to BAHDI at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, just because of, like you said, it was a combination shot. He went straight down on his face.
I watched it a few times at work today just to make sure I didn't talk. I didn't speak out of turn, man. But if someone put a ballot in front of me right now and there were other knockouts, or even if it was just those two, I'd probably have to check the box fucking next to that one. I would have to say, man, gun to my head, man, I would have to say that so far is knockout.
I will say that I didn't catch the Angelo Leo knockout, but I saw it after the fact. But I did see the Lucas BAHDI knockout live. Yeah. And that one was insane.
It's kind of 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, because I would say that probably more people were surprised that Angelo Leo, knocked out Luis Alberto Lopez. But then again, I'm not. Angelo Leo going to that fight was 24-1. He's a former champion himself in another weight class, man. He's not really known as a knockout puncher, man. But Alberto Lopez is somebody that has a good chin. But he's also a guy that sticks it out there a lot, fights with his hands down. Sort of like vintage, Prince Nassim Hamed. Does a lot of things wrong that allow you to capitalize, man. I think Sylvie there, who he fought, looked to be a little more defensively responsible, actually looking to not flaunt his face and get it out there and try to tempt Lucas BAHDI to hit him.
No, you're right, because H2O is more of a slick fighter. He's not.
So I also think it's more impressive that Lucas landed that punch, man. You know what I mean? I think that's more, or those punches, I should say.
Yeah, I was about to say multiple punches.
Yeah, and shout out to him, man, for keeping it honest, for calling Shakur boring, for promising to knock Floyd Schofield out for us and mentioning it on TV, man. I'm going to hold him to all these things, man. He's recorded now saying them, man. So, there's no escape now, man. He's in our clutches.
Wouldn't that be insane, though, if he knocked out fucking Floyd Schofield on Top Rank and that said, "This is for off the couch boxing."
Oh, if that fight gets signed, believe me, man, I will be texting him up to and including, man, like the week of the fight, man, just to make sure. I don't even care if I got to pay him or fucking take out advertising space or be a sponsor on his fucking trunks. I'll do whatever it takes, man, because that really made me fucking bristle.
Yeah, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
If
I was
he
fucking
knocked Floyd
man.
Schofield out and then over his fucking dead carcass said,
Yeah.
"This is for off the couch boxing."
Yeah. I mean, you're too big to come on here, but James Toney's not. Chris Bird is not. Greg Haugen is not. Jesse James Leha is not. You know what I mean? All these guys, man. Huh?
Paul Williams.
Yeah, all these former highly decorated champions and legends in our beloved sport, man. But, apparently, man, in order for us to get access to his coveted followers, man, we have to be at a certain status that is approved by, they blamed it on Golden Boy. I mean, but.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck that, because I know the numbers, dude. Floyd Schofield does have a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram, but so does Keyshawn Davis. And he came on our show.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah. And had no qualms about it. Very easy to make happen, man. You know what I mean? He didn't have all these I want to get paid to come on. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to be a prima donna about the whole thing. I'm going to make it difficult. Got in touch with his mans and made it happen, dude. Like that. Yep. Easy peasy, man. It was a pleasure to work with, his marketing guy, man. And it got done.
I would say the bottom line is Floyd Schofield and your dad, you're letting other men speak for what you're going to do as a man is wild pussy. So whatever.
Although I do got to say, though, man, that
I'll be the one to say it.
Although I do got to say that he slapped down Keyshawn Davis's fucking C-level grading of Raymond Murataya, which
yeah, I mean, Keyshawn was just talking shit. I mean,
but I understand the position Keyshawn is in. He has to say that, especially about other guys at the 135-pound division. He's got to come off like the alpha male, dude. You know what I mean? All of them are peeing on the same fire hydrant, trying to mark their territory and be the top.
Yeah, but I mean, that even speaks more to the fact of what I'm saying, dude. Like, he came on the show. He didn't have nobody telling him what to do. He said what he wanted to say. Whatever he didn't want to say, he just did what he wanted to do.
Yeah. And I am happy to say that the IBF has him ranked number 11. The champion there is Lomachenko. Kind of up in the air what Lomachenko is going to do. He walked away from the Tank Davis fight, man. I don't necessarily know that he's retired, but it's kind of like, hey, fucking tell people you're retiring without saying you're retiring. I'm not really sure, though. And I don't want to speak out of turn, man, because maybe Lomachenko is not done. But and then in the WBA,
quiet quitting, though. He's quiet quitting.
And then in the WBA, Lucas BAHDI has now officially ranked at number 10. So he's cracked the top 10, where, as I mentioned, the big prize there with the WBA belt is Tank Davis, a guy since his big knockout there last month. He's had his name coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean? So
I think, honest to God, though, I think, not like to get on the whole train of who we just had on the show, but I think watching Lucas BAHDI in the fight with H2O, I think he does fare well in a Tank Davis fight. He does.
Well, we at least get an action fight because, I mean, and of course he said it, not me, man, but Shakur Stevenson is boring. And unless the action is pressed by Tank, who doesn't always press the action and step on the gas pedal till he wants to, dude. As we talked about, he will give away rounds, man. So, for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds when he caught Barrios, it may be extremely boring, man, until, Tank decides he wants to turn up the fucking heat,
Right.
It could be a very boring fight. I don't see it happening that way with BAHDI, man, because, I mean,
it's going to be two guys who are pressing.
Sparks are going to fly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sparks are going to fly. And if they're not flying and Tank decides he wants to take those early rounds off, BAHDI's going to be hitting him and can build himself like a lead. And then Tank has to take more risks, man, and get in the kitchen. And that's kind of, and that's kind of Lucas's game right there. He's a knockout guy.
Right.
At the liberty of calling him a knockout artist, which I know some guys like that label, some guys detest that label. It's added pressure, but you can't deny the numbers. 17-0, 15 knockouts. It's hard not to label him a knockout artist, man. He's putting guys down,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, though. Like you said before, with the cards and everything, it's better to do it that way.
And if Tank gives away early rounds, man, he's eventually got to come in there, man, and take risks, man. He gave away a lot to Frank Martin. He got peppered with a lot of shots but he did keep walking him down and putting pressure without putting pressure. But I mean, he was also doing that against Frank Martin, though. You do that against a guy like Lucas BAHDI, and you got to come in there. You got to eat a lot bigger shots in order to come in there and get yours off.
Yeah, because Frank Martin doesn't. I've watched a bunch of Frank Martin fights, dude. He doesn't got that kind of power.
He's not. Yeah. He's not in Lucas BAHDI's. He's not even in He's not even in the same ballpark. He's not even in the same fucking league. You know what I mean? He's not even close. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with Lucas.
Skill-wise, they're probably similar, but Frank Martin just lacks the power that Lucas BAHDI provides.
And again, let me shout out Canada, man. Canada fighters, man, you've been incredibly good to us, man. Shout out to our friendly neighbors to the north, man. We love you guys up there, man. We named off a bunch, man. Trevor and Shan Thonson, our boy Steve Claggett, Ryan Rizicki. Now we can add Lucas BAHDI to the mix. You know what I mean? Matthew Germain, Wilkins Matthew. I mean,
yeah, shout out Justin Trudeau, man, because you're giving us a lot of fucking guys.
Yeah, I know. Thank God, man. Thank God, man. The Canadian fighters have been extremely good to us, man. And also, man, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out just because I'm wearing it. I know you got one in the mail, too. Shout out to our boy Casablanca the God and his manager Damon for sending us out the merch, man. You know, this is completely off topic of boxing or whatever, man, but this is an artist you should definitely go out and check. Casablanca the God.
And we got the albums, and I'm keeping mine in the saran wrap. So when you're a fucking big time celebrity, I got the day one shit.
Right. When you are Jay-Z, when you are Jay-Z or Kanye, man, which I believe he could get to that level, maybe even exceed it, then I will say, hey, I've got the original first pressing
of Blankalations Volume 2.
Yeah. Yeah. People want to find out what it is. Go to your fucking platform that you listen to music on, man. We're too white to say it, but I mean, he's got a couple of great albums out, a part 1 and a part 2, man. Casablanca the God doing big things out of upstate New York, Buffalo to be specific. Got to put out, got to show out for our fucking boys from New York State, man. You know what I mean? Yes, we love Canada, man, but we are New Yorkers, man. So got to give Casablanca the God some love, man. Go check out his shit, man. New album just dropped couple weeks ago, man, August 1st or whatever, man. So he's got new fresh material out.
In case you're wondering, it's called Blankalations Volume 2.
Yeah, and there is a blank.
Check it out. It's not blank, but if you can put 2 and 2 together, you would get the gist.
Yeah. Well, no, I believe we did say that we could say rhymes with wigga.
Wiggalations Volume 2.
And that we are white enough to be allowed to say right there. And I don't think anybody's going to at all accuse us of racism. And I mean, all of our guests on here, man, the majority of them, man, have been of different ethnic backgrounds or whatever, man. So, I mean, everybody welcome on here, man. It's all love, man, from our side, our side of the fence, man. You know what I mean? We love everybody on here, man. So, I mean, but yeah, getting off track, man, go check out Casablanca the God out of Buffalo, New York, man. An amazing MC, man. On the cusp of doing huge things, man. Thank you for the merchandise. And thank you to Lucas BAHDI, 17-0, 15 knockouts, up there in Niagara Falls. Promises not to go over the falls in a barrel. Not a good plan, kids, if you're out in the Niagara Falls, in the greater Niagara Falls area. Don't go over the falls in a barrel. As you heard Lucas say, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get fined. Yeah, you may be able to brag to your friends, man, but so what, man? You landed in some water.
So he told us where to get the best poutine if you're going over the border to Niagara Falls.
Right there on Clifton Hill.
We heard it all from him. He talked up the other Canadian fighters, Ryan Rizicki, Claggett, all those guys, are friends of his, and we love them all. We love them all.
Stone Cold Killers. Yeah. All of them doing big things too, and all of them doing big things too, man. I mean, Shan Thonson is right up at the top of the lightweight rankings himself. Trevor's undefeated, not too far behind. Steve Claggett will regroup and probably get another huge opportunity. He just fought pound for pound one of the best guys in the world, Teofimo Lopez, and fought him tough for 12 fucking gritty fucking rounds and fucking showed up and showed out, man. I mean, Matthew Germain doing his thing. Wilkins Matthew is undefeated still and just won another fight. He continues to keep rolling at 168, I believe.
And with that being said, man, If you aren't tapped in with this podcast and liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell, because look it, we're telling you guys that we've had on this show that are gonna be fighting for a world title.
Yeah.
Like, what more does this podcast need to provide for you people to
Right.
fucking get the picture?
Everybody that we've had on is going to have a big 2025, man. There's been nobody on here, man, that's a young up-and-coming fighter that's like, you know, like under 20 or 25 fights that hasn't called 2025 is their fucking big year, man. And with all due respect to Lucas BAHDI, he called it too.
Dude, we've had them all, dude.
Yeah.
Like you said, Ian Green, Keyshawn Davis, Rizicki, Lucas
Tommy
BAHDI.
Hyde. Yeah.
Tommy Hyde, the police officer from New York, who am I?
Vargas.
Yeah,
Alex Vargas. Yeah.
Ton of guys, man, who are right there. We're just providing you with the early access to these guys.
Shushu Carrington.
Dude, you run down the list, man. We got them.
Yeah. I defy anybody to go look at our list of episodes and find anybody, man, that has, that has that type of mix of legends, luminaries. I've said it before, man. Young up-and-coming fighters, man. I mean, everybody that has gone and looked has come back to me and said, "My God, you guys have fucking had everybody on."
Yeah, where the fuck are you getting a Mike Oliver interview? Shut the fuck up. You're not getting it.
Yeah, twice.
All right, and with that being said, man. Shout out Gary Busey, because I can go 15 seconds with anything. And I'll also say, find us on Facebook, bitch.
Yeah, find us on Facebook. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're watching this right now, you've already found the right place. You're obviously already tapped in. The majority of the work is already done for you. Just move your little finger up there, man, and hit the notification bell. Hit that subscribe button, man. This is the place where the best boxing conversations. This is where they come to chop it up right here. You want to know? You want to know how they get down after the fights, man? What music they're vibing to? Fucking what their go-to meal is, man. You want to know this, you want to know that, you want to know the particulars, man. This is just guys on here chopping it up, man. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody else is bringing you this kind of relaxed, shoes off type fucking conversational format. You know what I mean? Like, it's relaxed, it's fun, yet it's informative, man. This is the place to come. And remember, get tapped in, because if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs.